This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it, so the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there. And I just want to hear what you all are thinking about it. How do we land on it? I'm not saying that these people are spot on the money, and I agree 100% with everything, but I do think it's good to hear from, and y'all know I like to talk with people that I disagree with. Let me see real quick. I feel like my camera is off center. Okay, there, I'm back on the center now. Okay, there we go. And besides, like, and now I'm in the panel with these really smart guys. That's kind of cool. They need a little bit of color. They need a baseball cap in there for sure. Shout out. So anyway, the behavioral panel discussed Candace recently. I thought it was good, so let's jump into it. Everybody, as you know, I like to say, green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Today we're going to talk about Candace Owens. She's in the news again. Greg, why don't you tell us about the videos we're going to watch?
Well, this is one of those odd cases where I have no idea. You sent the videos and I watched them this morning. So you picked. You tell us.
All right. Well, she's being interviewed, and the questions she's being asked are most of the things we're interested in. She's talking about the Charlie Kirk situation and some other things, and Trump. It's pretty good, actually. So we're going to break those down and tell you exactly what to look for from a body language and behavior perspective, so you'll know exactly what's going on. All right, y'all ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
And I thought this was good.
What are your thoughts on the?
Okay, so before we get into this, I skipped this interview. I don't like Candace when she does interviews like this. I don't know why. I just don't like them. So I'm glad we skipped it because now we get a chance to check it out together. So this is Myron Gaines, formerly of Fresh and Fit, and they used to be a real big male-centric red pill podcast on YouTube, one of the best podcasts out there. And Myron, this gentleman right here, started going down the road of, everything is about the Jews. Everything is Jew. And lo and behold, they got deplatformed. I don't know if they even do I don't know if they even still do it on Rumble. But needless to say, he's taking a major hit. So he was interviewing Candace, and so now let's go.
News, because it just resurfaced again. They're in the process right now of getting everything classified. I understand that there were a bunch of emails that came out. And it's coming back up again. I can tell because I'm seeing nothing but CNN clips on it. Anytime they love to hit Trump when it comes to this Epstein thing. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the latest information that came out recently with the emails and everything else like that?
When he initially balked on discussing Epstein and Pam Bondi did the whole crazy bit, I was told that it was because there was donors he was protecting, and that makes sense to me. I have never felt, and I'm a pretty good vibe person, Trump's not into kids, right? Mm-hmm. So the nature of the emails, was he at a party when people should just think about that. When people say, oh, they exchange, like he was on his plane, never on the island, but like was on the plane, or was it a party? If you were at you live in Miami. If you were at a party, the idea that somebody could be at any club that you are at or any party that you are at has somebody that's underage and looks like she could be 18, and that doesn't really track to me as any evidence of anything other than the fact that he was at a party once, and Jeffrey Epstein was very clearly running a sophisticated network and a blackmail ring. So I don't think that whatever they have on Epstein with Trump and Epstein is going to implicate Trump in any of that stuff. Yeah. And I've been around him. Trump has a type, and I have never felt that vibe from him at all. But I do think he's protecting some of his donors. I do believe that.
All right, Chase, what do you got?
Yeah, she reframes the focus. Instead of examining Trump's behavior, she kind of pulls the lens a little wide. Was he at a party? You're in Miami. You've seen this kind of thing. Donors he was protecting. Everything was flowing and smooth. But if you zoom way into the statement about Trump not being into the people she mentioned, her denial has a grimace with a little bit of a disgust expression. She's adamant. She builds credibility, good vibe person for herself before she makes the statement. It's a solid statement of denial. She's willing to mention the word kids, so there's no severity softening there. At the end, when she clearly states it, there is no confirmation glance to the podcaster interviewer whatsoever. And this is very unusual. And you almost never see this in somebody who's being deceptive. She socializes, normalizes the possibility of it being a party. She's confident making the denial without any hedging. And this can be seen in her eye movements, looking in several directions here. And that's a very good tell that someone's being honest, so they're kind of accessing in different places as they speak. Her lack of rehearsal, her movement not being interrupted or overly managed. This looks like a very truthful denial to me. Scott, what do you got?
All right. Well, her body language is great in this because she's really relaxed and she's focused, but she's got that feeling of superiority. She's trying to, I don't know if she's trying to project that or not, but it sure does happen when she's grooming. She says, I was told.
My hair back.
But the thing is, she doesn't say who told her this information. That's where the flags start going up for me, the red flags. Her approach is that she has all this secret information and she'll tell all the information, but she's not going to tell you who said it, where she got it. So that makes me really pay attention to what's going on, not just with her body language, but with what she's saying specifically. And because if it's that big a secret and you can't tell anybody, but she's telling us this part of it, then she can't be trusted. But somebody who's supposed to have trusted information is trusting her. It doesn't make sense that person would be smart enough to trust her doing that, because they've probably seen her do that before. So I don't know if I'd be very wary of believing her a lot of times, because you already know she's full of it, because she's not saying who told her this stuff. This is a thing. This is like one of those things that a con will do. We'll see several different moves in here that a con, when they're trying to sell you something or get your confidence or your trust, you'll see her make these moves in here. And I'm not saying she's not being.
So real quick, I got to stop. Looking at the comments, I can tell already we might need to take our time on this one. I'm going to drop the link to this video as well. I got a feeling you might want to look at this, watch it again, because I feel like I need to watch it, literally watch that first part again. So if I'm feeling that way, I'm pretty sure you are going to probably be feeling that as well. So I did drop the link to this, and if we need to, we'll take our time. I don't know if Candace is going live today. She hasn't announced it, so I'll keep an eye on it, but we'll stay here until further notice. And if we need to, we'll interrupt it and watch her show. And then maybe we'll apply some of the stuff we've learned and then come back to it, whatever we need to do.
Honest here. I'm just saying, I see a lot of flags for what I usually look for in someone if I'm trying to decide whether they're telling me the truth about stuff or not. So that's all I got on that. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, it looks a bit of a dog's dinner for me. You've got a questioner there it's an ill-formed question. I don't even know what the question is. Like, who's he talking about? What emails? He says they. Well, which they is he talking about? Does that they change? So it's an ill-formed question in the first place. She responds to an ill-formed question by steering away from it into something else, just as you say, Chase. So she's given a softball, ill-formed question. She doesn't reframe that to go, here's what I'm going to talk about. And essentially, she just gives opinion, and she believes in her opinion. And she sets up herself as an opinion. She says, I'm a pretty good, what did she say? I've got a pretty good vibe. Pretty good vibe. Oh, okay, then. Oh, you got a good vibe about this? Well, then, okay. So you got a good vibe about an ill-formed question that you're steering around. Well, I can have a pretty good vibe. I could have a pretty good vibe that he is involved in something, or a pretty good vibe he isn't involved, but I have no first-hand evidence. So you're asking me an ill-formed question. You're asking somebody an ill-formed question who has no first-hand evidence, or Scott, if they do, and which is what you're saying, if they do, they're not prepared to go, actually, here is the first-hand evidence that I had. She says, I've got a pretty good vibe for this, that he's not into kids. Well, he ran Miss Teen USA. That's 14 to 19-year-olds. That still doesn't give me any evidence to say he is or he isn't, but I can put forward, just like she can, a vibe. Here's my vibe about it. So of course, for me, Greg, and I'll hand to you in a second, it feels to me like we're in this true believer situation. Is she utterly believes her vibe on this, and so comes across as very genuine. Why wouldn't she? She's got an idea, she's got a vibe, she's very forthright, she's a very confident person, fantastic broadcaster, confident in her vibe. That's her job, to go, I've got an opinion, here's my opinion, and I think my opinion is right, but it doesn't give us any help on the question at hand, which wasn't even formed. Greg, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to pick up with confidence, because my first note is it's easy to see why people follow her. She's solid in communication and confident. A long time ago, I was doing some business transformation, and a guy looked at me and said, I don't know if you know what you're talking about, but I absolutely trust your confidence. And I said, those are your tax dollars at work, because what you learn is to telegraph what you're saying with your body, with your mouth. Mark, you make a living teaching people to do exactly that. So I'm going to come back to the guy in just a minute because he is really expressive and I love it. But the only place I see any loss of confidence in her story, if you will, and she declares it, is I was told that he was protecting these donors. And if you want to pay attention to that, I'll walk you through to the mechanics of it. The rest of it, everything is perfect. Her hands are out, her fingers are there. She's looking around her head for information. No real hard-nosed glances to check anything. She's not making hard eye contact. She's not doing what we call the romancer by poking eyes and locking eyes with you. She shows absolute confidence. We say that more illustrators are good. Her facial expressions, back to one you pointed out, Chase, that disgust at the mere mention of children is what we expect when a person's talking about that. She does a mocking face, like in disbelief as she says he has a type, and then she goes on to say, I don't get that vibe. That supports her whole story. Her voice tone and her cadence support her message. They're telling. There's logic flowing all the way through. When she gets to his donors, she does lip compression. We always associate that with withheld information. And she says, I was told, and we see a loss of confidence. She moved from telling to something else. We see actually the first time a little bit of a brow rise. We don't see that at all in her. Let's go back and look at the guy who's interviewing. And I don't know his name, sorry. But I always say the forehead's a billboard of emotion. Watch him as he's asking questions. He's asking and trying to get you to understand. Then he goes to some concern as he talks to the question. I think he realizes too, Mark, that he has not formed a good question. He doesn't know exactly how to ask. So I think we're seeing a good flow of communication. She's a confident speaker. She's delivering information. So let's look at that as a baseline and see what do we see as she goes into more complex.
I know you liked that episode. This is actually a clip from a larger live stream. The link is down in the description, so you can go check it out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you down there. Grace and peace.